What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, if so, to another market update video here at BenefitsCentral. I'm Benjamin, and today we're going to be looking at Ethereum. I am going to be switching up the videos just a little bit. As of right now, I'm just going to be realistically eyeballing Ethereum, just because it's the one that I've been focusing on the most, the one that's getting the most traction in my beliefs, and that has the most opportunity realistically. But other than that, I'm just going to be breaking down the basics for everybody. It'd be better if I just focused on one stock, and then that way everybody can understand fully what I'm talking about and explaining, and trying to show for everybody. For the beginner levels, obviously moderate to expert still will find this useful, just because I am going over the market trends and what is currently happening in today in the crypto and stock market. But other than that, let's just dive right in. We're going to jump right away onto the monthly time frame. And honestly, after yesterday's video, it was insane. I did state that we were doing a bull 180 and that we were going to continue bullish. And right after I ended up posting that video, I got back. If you guys didn't catch me on my Instagram, you guys can check out the links down below. But I did end up posting that I was going to be dropping the video around 5ish. I posted it realistically a little earlier, around 2, and got back home and the market was going crazy. It was insane. I saw a little bit happening while I was out, but realistically got to focus on it when I got back to the crib. But looking at what happened with Ethereum, just to focus on Ethereum alone, we did end up seeing that we ended up rallying. But looking at the monthly, we did have this bull 180 formation. And just to get a little bit of basics in today's video, we have multiple candles. Candles are basically the way that you understand the market, the way the market really distributes its data. Sorry about that. But it just distributes its data and shows you how it's performing realistically. This is its data. It's forming candles. You can make it in lines. You can do all kinds of things to the charts, but candles seem to show the best way so that you can see the data accurately. Excuse me. But other than that, realistically, we just have a set of candles, right? And when they get together in groups, they start to form patterns, and these patterns can end up showing you signals whether to go bullish or bearish. That's realistically what we do. But to break it further, to get your analysis, everyone's analysis is a bit different, and everyone trades a bit different. This is realistically your way of thinking and understanding the market and how to realistically get some benefits and profits from it. This is just my way on how I manage to get myself consistent with the market and how it decides to trend with news and etc. that moves the market. There's a lot that comes into play with this. But other than that, besides looking at our patterns, which is groups of candles, we're going to be looking at realistically how they perform, and if they have wicks, if they close high or if they close low. Meaning, I go by halves and wholes. Realistically, on the stock market, whatever it is, whatever kind of crypto, whatever stock, I go by halves and wholes, trying to find the half and whole for the stock I'm currently looking at. For Ethereum, we're in the thousands, 1700s. So realistically, the half and whole that I see that it moves to commonly throughout the daily is 50s and 100s. So you'll see that movement a lot. Like we will go through 1700, come down to 1650, or we just go through the next 50s and 100s. We try to make those halves and wholes. That's what we call them. But looking at this, like I said, just real quick, we did just get another pattern right here. And this is from consecutive candles getting together and showing data, but we did just get a double top. That is signaling that a reversal trend is going to come into play, at least temporarily, and we're going to start to see some downside. But obviously, looking at the daily, I skipped past the weekly, but looking at the daily from yesterday's video, we did complete that bull 180, and I mean skyrocketed past several halves and wholes all the way to 1700. We were currently around the 1550 area. And especially when we were trying to get into this, and when the entry was for the bull 180, it was around 1510, and that's like right around here. You see the reversal of this. This is an acorn. Some people call it hammers, but this is just terminology for the candles. But realistically, you can point this out that it's a small candle, and basically the bulls, right? Bears go down, bulls go up. The bulls ended up reversing this energy by engulfing this whole candle, pushing upward, and then knocking every single wick that was to your left. Remember, if you're ever in doubt, just look to your left to see what the data had done and what you're going to look forward to. So at past this one, you could have got out here. Past that, could have got out here. Could have got out here. or here. This is also called TP, or taking profits. You do end up trying to break this down. You don't really just put money in here and just hope that it does well. You realistically have to take the time to understand what you're doing with your money and how to make it work for you. But other than that, we did skyrocket past several halves and holes, like I said, for Ethereum, which managed to actually get us some great profits. We did end up getting out early. I believe we got out around 1650. I just had a TP around here just because I did think we were going to reverse. I did see that I had another line here, and I could have probably took partial profits here just because, you know, it's playing smart and professional. But we did have a bit of resistance, I believe, on the weekly. And that is why, yes, so on the weekly we did end up getting a bull 180 as well that we could have started as well. This is another acorn. Like I said, you just point out a smaller candle as well. With these ones, you can see that these are pivot points. The market was indecisive in what it was trying to necessarily do, but we ended up coming and rejecting back down after a few attempts to try to break through. We didn't. Came back. Now we ended up reversing, possibly off of the tension between the 200 moving average and our indicators. I'll get back into those later, so that you guys can fully understand those. But besides that, realistically, we have a weekly, which is a more strong showing, an indicator that the market is attempting to go bullish, even despite war, despite, you know, any kind of rumor or anything that is going on in the news right now with our feds and everything that's going on. The market is saying, I don't care, and we are attempting to try to reverse bullish, which is phenomenal right now, just because we have finally got out of this downtrend, forming off of a W as well, which was below our 200 indicator, which is a very strong sign. We usually respect this and bounce off of it. However, we broke below, scared a ton of people. A lot of people were expecting that we were going to tank. However, after, you know, bouncing around these levels for a little bit, we decided that, or Ethereum decided, the market makers decided that we are going to pump up, forming a pattern with consecutive candles. Like I said, forming a W. I like to see these as well. These are something that I trade. Obviously rejected off of our 1650, but attempting to break it now, just to break that down further for my beginners that are still trying to understand what is going on. But other than that, realistically, like I said, we did execute this bull 180 and are still attempting to complete it. The week is not necessarily over yet. We still have a few days. Today's Thursday. So to dive back into the daily, you can see that now, you know, attempting to reach overbought on our RSI, our relative strength indicator, which is down here. Which is just another indicator to help me form an analysis with the market. It's just another tool that I use. I will be breaking all this further down later on. If you have any questions, please make sure to leave them down below. But other than that, we did end up pushing all the way 1700. I think we ended up hitting 1720, I believe, 1712, and that was where our last wick was, our last high. So we ended up getting rejected, forming a double top, meaning it's the opposite of a W. It's an M, and that means that is respected as of right now. So we won't be passing that. So we will decide to reverse. After reversing, obviously we ended up seeing some downward momentum in the market. So to check the 15, it's just a quicker, more zoomed in data that you can see on what Ethereum is necessarily doing in the exact same area that we see on the daily. Just more zoomed in. It's quicker. You can see what's necessarily happening inside. But other than that, you're seeing that we are just bouncing, kind of ping-ponging around the 1770s, attempting to most likely retrace and find some support around 1650. If not, we will continue to go to the downside, breaching another half from our hole. And like I said, our holes are obviously a whole number, but it's a 1700, and then a half is, you know, a half number. It's 1650. If we breach into this with downward momentum like this, after rejecting from our high over here, pushing all the way down, we should anticipate that we would continue. So you could go in for a quick short, attempting to reach this 200 indicator if that's what ends up happening. However, just because of how everything is set up, that's just an example for a play that you could take, or a trade that you could take. Realistically, I'm waiting to see what it wants to do, just because we have had, I mean, like, crazy amounts of bullish momentum come into the markets. However, you do have to respect the pump, and when stuff happens like this, if you didn't make any money, then you have to watch, wait your turn, wait to get in. If you did make money, then you have to wait and respect what happened, be grateful that you made money from the market, and just wait for another entry. Realistically, just respect it. Don't try to chase it. Don't try to do that. There's several things. I'm coming out with a book and a course for you guys. If you guys can't get enough from my YouTube videos, these are just daily things that I just kind of throw out for everybody. But I will have some other ways of content for you guys to learn this as well. Is the amount of information that I have, it's took me a few years to fully grasp everything on the market. But other than that, realistically, we're just going to keep it on the daily, talk about what's going on for today. I do anticipate that we are going to continue to reject unless we find some support, like I said, and unless we do find some support, like I said, where if we do end up breaching, then I will anticipate that we do try to reach this again, or at least attempt to touch our indicators to find some kind of support or resistance from our rejection from 1700. But other than that, realistically, the market has been an interesting play. Don't get too caught up with greed. The market right now, the whole market is being caught up by greed. Everyone is trying to get in here. It's a fear of missing out. It's FOMO. A lot of people push this. Ethereum shouldn't have bounced that high. Realistically, it was insane. It was within, I'd say, maybe 2 hours. But we did end up getting a very bullish cross on the 4 hour for today. Hourly, you can see that we are falling a little bit below our 20 moving average right here. But that's okay. We can still fight to see some more bullish momentum after, obviously rejecting and reconsolidating a little bit, but other than that, just to keep it on the daily, like I said, we are attempting to push right back up, and honestly, I believe we are going to breach 1700. Indicators are forming nicely. 200 indicator is right here. All of the indicators are getting pretty tight, nice and binded right to the end for a nice squeeze. So don't miss any kind of momentum that is out coming to play. We are attempting on the weekly to get a bit of a cross here as well with this bull 180. So this is some crazy bullish momentum that we are attempting. Yesterday, the pump was nothing to what is actually going to come. We do have a lot of stuff that is getting rallied for Ethereum. A lot of people are saying get out, sell, that we're in a recession in the market. That is possible just because of what is going on with the markets right now, as well as our CPI ratings around 6.4%, which wasn't what we wanted to see. It means that inflation is coming down a little bit slower, not as fast as we'd like it to. Our last one was 6.5, I believe, or 6.56 or something around there. So it just came down by 0.1%, which is great news. Inflation is still coming down, but it's not going down as fast as we anticipated, which means that by the time we hit the 2% goal that we would like it at, it would be, I believe, by 2026, and that's not what we wanted to do. Promised the people by 2024 or 2023 that we'd start to see a bit of improvement in the inflation rates, as well as us trying to not risk a recession, because they keep claiming that we're not in one. But all of that is just news. Remember that you can make money just with the pure graph and data that is in front of you. The news only impacts this, or is an excuse for the data that is coming out and you're seeing. You realistically have to start trading, putting more time in to see the differences in what is really relative to the market and what actually impacts. But other than that, that was just a quick update video. If you guys need me to go over in more detail or talk about specific things, please leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.